So five
So
four.
what were you saying?
Yeah,
Oh
five
yeah,
four.
okay.
You being 5'4", you have good
Yes,
looks. You have good looks, but
yes.
you're 5'4". So you approaching these women, they wouldn't even be looking up to you. They'd be looking down. So
Down,
it
yeah.
would be it would
And
be over from the start. Can you
that's
not
not
acknowledge
just
that?
yeah, that's not just some girls, that's all of them because the ones that are 5'2" walk go to the club in heels, so then they're 5'5", right?
Yeah,
So if the least I'm getting that night is eye level, do you understand? That's the least.
right.
Majority are looking down, do you understand? So y- are you do you realize that I'm not just at a disadvantage, I'm at a significant disadvantage to the point that it's close to impossible to use these theories or use these red pill kind of like um approaches to pull home women. Do you understand? Do you
So
acknowledge that, or are you still kind of at that
y-
point where, oh, if I just try hard enough, then it will eventually come?
one of my best friends in college was 5'5", and we used to go out all the time. And I didn't know what I was doing then. In fact, I was actually a model in the modeling agency at that time. Okay, and he would like just clean up. All right, and I would get nothing, and I wouldn't
Right.
know
Is
how
he
he's doing it.
actually
So
5'5", or
yeah,
is
he's
he
actually
you
five
just
five.
saying that? Because a lot
No,
of
he's
people are 6 foot, and then they say people are 5'5" when they're actually like 5'7" maybe.
no, he's
So he's
actually
actually
5'5". I'm 6'3", so
right. So okay. So he's told you that, or you just assumed?
yeah, he's told me that.
He told you that,
Yeah,
okay.
I've known him
And
for a long time.
he is he good looking, average looking, bad looking facially?
I think he's good looking, uh, but but women I've talked to have said that he's average looking or above average looking. So I think it depends. Like he's got a look that probably would appeal to a certain segment of women, but not a
And
universal.
was
He
he
doesn't have
pulling
classic good looks. So let's
right?
say that.
Was he bringing women back home into his room, or was he kind of just pushing him in an Uber and saying, "Oh, there's another one I got home"? Was it
No. I went with him, and yeah. So
you? You went, oh, in
I
the
he was
taxi with him,
he was my roommate in
right?
college. So
Okay,
yeah, so definitely, you know, I can hear through
okay,
the walls.
right. And okay, so was this college recently or college 10, 15 years ago
This was
when
a
the game
long
was
time.
completely different? Huh?
Yeah, this is a long time ago, but
How long ago? How long ago? Because it really does matter how long ago it was.
yeah, like 20 years ago. So
20,
Yeah,
okay, 20
that's
years though. Okay,
a lot has
that's
changed since then.
yeah,
yeah,
A
that's
lot
not
has
just a
changed.
yeah, a lot. Yeah, it's literally a one done a 180
Yeah, like
basically
I
in
don't
terms.
know. I mean, yeah, I haven't seen anything change as far as going out. Like
smart.
on online, yes, I agree, but going out, it's gotten easier going out. Actually, I remember. I mean,
Oh,
now
What?
there used to be guys like all hitting on girls in the clubs all the time, but now there's like it's like no one's doing it, so it's so much easier for guys that are actually doing it. So I don't know. I mean, it depends on your perspective on what you consider to be easier or harder, but I'd say it's easier
I
now.
mean, are you 6'3" and good looking? Is that why it's easy, or are you 6'3" and average looking and be and trying hard? Like, you might be getting results just because you're good looking rather than the methods you're using. So, are you good looking or
It's a combination of the two, of
no, no, no?
course.
Are you good looking? Yes or no?
Well, yes, but it's still a combination of the two. And besides, I'm not just talking about my results. I'm talking about guys that I coach, or the guys that I go out with, or friends
Oh,
of mine.
you're a red pill like coach, like what you teach like approaches and stuff, cold approaches in
Right.
the club, right?
Correct.
And you bring them out and you do it with them and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So out of the people who are coming to you for this coaching,
hmm
would you say their looks are bad or good or average?
I would say mostly average. I've had some I've had some outliers, some that were on that I was surprised because I was like, wow, this is not the typical person because they're above average looking, so and tall, and it doesn't seem like they should be having a problem. And I've had guys that have been below average looking, so
Right. So are you actually seeing their results, or are you kind of just just getting a text next morning saying, "Oh, it was great doing this with you, bro. See you soon." When they haven't got like, are they actually getting results, improving it, or
They're 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 improving, right? So again,
no, no, no,
what
not no. Are they
yeah,
proving it's
you
happening?
you can't. Here's the thing. You don't understand. I think you're misunderstanding how much work you're going to have to put into this to actually get results from this. It was like I said at the beginning of the call about jumping a chasm, right? If you can get 80% across the chasm, you get zero results. You still fall in. You have to get 100% across, right? So you have to be really good in order to get any results. Up to
Right,
that point, as you're
you said
improving, you're going to get zero.
right. You
It's
said
like,
I'm underestimating
mm,
how hard it, or sorry, I'm overestimating how hard it is. Did you say?
yes, how much results, how much work you have to put in to even get a result.
Okay, what have I told you? I've put countless hours, countless approaches, countless times to the club, countless red pill, technologically, everything in a book, and I
Okay,
have yielded zero results. Is it because
how
I didn't wear a tie, or is it because I didn't wear a Calvin Klein
no, it's
aftershave that night?
you didn't shower and get the haircut.
Right, I
No, no.
didn't shower
Yeah,
12 times instead of 13
exactly.
times. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
With the right soap, with the right soap. No,
Right.
okay. So tell me, so honestly, how many times nights a week do you go out?
Well, now I don't go out at all because I kind of know my place. But when I did go out and had a
Ah,
social circle, I would go out every Friday, and every Friday was kind of a routine. Like it would be every Friday, and
okay.
then every maybe once a month it would be Friday and Saturday kind of thing. So I'd
Okay.
say in a month I'll go 5 times a month basically out to the club.
Okay.
It would
Doesn't
be with the social. It would be the social circle. So we'd do
Yeah.
pre-drinks in their little flat, and then from the flat we'd go out to the club. Right.
The- Okay, and that's not much, just so you know. Like, I mean, like if you really want to seriously do this, probably a minimum of 2 nights a week, probably more like 3 or 4 nights a week is
But does
really
that not no no no
gonna
no,
put it.
like you need to realize like the average person, they have a job, they go to college, they're
I know
busy during the week. You're acting
that's
as
what.
if you need to make this a full-time job for it to work. Doesn't that
Look,
kind of show how hard it is?
it
If you
is
have
hard.
to
It's really fucking hard.
right.
Like
So but
I never
you
will I
just said
ever.
I overestimated how hard it was. So
No,
you're
no, you
contradicting yourself
overestimate how
now.
easy it
So
was.
it
How
is
easy.
hard. Is that what you're
Yeah.
trying to
Oh
say?
yeah, it's
It is
fucking
hard
hard.
now.
This is the hardest thing
Right,
you'll
so
do in
admit
your
it
life.
because before
This
you
is harder
said
than
you're
making.
overestimating it.
It's easier for me to teach you how to make $1 million. I can make $1 million easier than it is to teach someone who's never gotten laid to get laid.
Right, okay, that makes sense.
doesn't your where you're coming from? I don't know if it's you charge money or if you would declare it a business, but doesn't your business depend on taking the line of thinking, depending on the narrative that men are getting rejected because of their personality? Doesn't
No.
doesn't it? Or
Eh, Okay.
would you
So
say
so
that would you okay, let me just finish this point. Would you
okay, yeah.
have a guy would you have a guy that comes in it comes to you, has perfect game, and would you then say, look, these are the things you need to work on your looks because your game is good enough. We're going to get you this surgery. I know this surgeon who's good. I know you're sorry. I know you this surgeon, sorry, cuz I've got so many distractions going on. I'll start that point again. The guy has perfect game, but you could look at him and you could see that his face is the problem. Would your consultation be tailored towards fixing his face?
So let me give a full disclosure and then
I
I'll answer
guess
that.
okay. Sounds okay.
Okay, so
It
full
sounds like you're gonna
disclosure.
say no it sounds like you're gonna say no in a long-winded
Well,
way.
no, what I just wanted to make it very clear that I don't make my primary income from any of this stuff. Okay, I'm a multimillionaire. Okay, I made a lot of my money from real estate. I used to be a software developer. Okay, I did a bunch of courses for Pluralsight, and then I run 2 businesses. One of the businesses is Simple Programmer, and I teach developers social skills. Okay, again, doesn't rely on and career development skills. Okay, the second one is Bulldog Mindset, which I do for fun. It's a YouTube channel. It's mostly personal development, and I teach mostly men how to be men, and then as part of that, occasionally, like if I go to Vegas or something like that, I will offer one-on-one coaching in game. Okay, so that's a very, very small percentage of my income, and I don't even count. In fact, I only do that. I just basically it just pays for my hotel and my fun in
So
Vegas.
you're gonna answer his question, or you're gonna tell him how you get your income, right?
Okay, well, I'm saying that so that you can understand
Right.
why
He
I'm not
asked you
biased
if
in
you're
that.
gonna
He asked,
attribute all his problems to his face, and ask him if you're gonna change his face, not how much you earn a year. So you're gonna
right.
answer that or not?
So the question is whether or not someone having perfect game would if they came to me with perfect game, with whether my recommendation would be to use surgery to change their face.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, if someone was doing perfect game, they had everything else on point, they had already done everything that they could as far as style and looks maxing without surgery, then I would say, yeah, sure, let's look at that option. That's going to be
okay. What
the
would
only thing you don't have it
all
done.
right. This is just my assumption. I don't believe you have the language, the capacity to know what makes a face attractive, because I don't think you've studied this in such a Asperger way as I have. So I don't think you would say this guy that comes into you who has perfect game, but a bad face. I don't think you'd say to him, well, by looking at your jaw, I can see that your mandible's recessed. I can see that you have your cheekbones are low. I can see that your brow ridge isn't. I don't think you would be able to advise a man in such a in-depth way. So I think you would overemphasize that he needs to improve on his game, because I don't think you have the. I don't think you're coming from. I don't think you would place the importance on looks because you don't have the language or you haven't studied it as much as I have. I think you would pivot to his game needing to be, instead of a 10, being an 11 or something.
Yeah.
No.
Like, how about this? A
That's
Bulldog.
pretty unfair.
I'll let you answer.
All right. Okay.
Okay, that's
Bulldog.
pretty unfair. Well, first of all, I mean, I probably haven't studied it as much as you have, but I've studied it pretty in depth. Okay, you could ask me questions. I could answer all the basic stuff. Like, again, whatever is out there, I've studied. Okay, I've watched much all the videos.
You've studied gonal angles.
Yes,
ramus length. What's a good ramus length?
I don't know what ramus length is.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. You
Listen,
would overemphasize. You would, because
Bulldog.
you don't have the language.
Right.
I'm not criticizing you. I'm just saying that you haven't studied looks
It's really
How about
easy.
this, Bulldog? Have you ever attributed it to face? Have you ever told one of your students, or whatever, that
No.
all right, it is your face? So you've never done that.
I haven't run into that yet. I don't think it's.
See, I find it very hard to believe that you will ever do that. I feel like you would always.
Why would I ever do that? Why would I ever do that? It doesn't make any sense to do that unless if someone really is physically deformed enough that their face is their issue, then they already know it. There's no point in me saying it, and they're not. That's a very small corner case.
I think
most
that
average guys are average.
Yeah, but I think you would. I think only in the exceptional circumstances where a man has his face burned off by acid, or a deformity. I think only then would you say that, hey, your looks are the problem. I think if a guy comes in and as long as he has a nose and some eyes on his head, you're gonna be like, well, hey, game can do the rest. And if you're not getting the results that you,
I agree.
Yeah.
Give
it's
me an
anything
example.
but looks.
You're talking all theoretical. Give me an example. You guys have to give me an example of someone whose looks are so bad, okay, and they don't have a facial deformity, that game isn't going to work with them.
Could you come back on another stream, and I'll get you that.
But I want the example of the actual person you know.
All right. Okay.
Not
right.
Like the famously ugly people. I've seen all the famously ugly people. There's a reason why they're famously ugly, is because there's very few of them, and those pictures have been shared around all over the place.
Right. I'm going to continue with this video quickly. All right. Let's keep going.
We should analyze your picture and decide.
I kind of don't want to get doxxed.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and then I'll never get to work again. So let me continue with
What?
this.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about that. So.
Oh, thank you. I like your style, Dana.
Right.
It doesn't happen very often, surprisingly. But I'll tell you what.
But you're so good looking.
Oh, thank you. I like your style, Dana. I like the way you put together.
Oh, you remembered my name?
Yes, I did.
I would say
it's
say
so
that
obvious.
I would say that him remembering her name, he gets more return on investment because of his looks. If you were ugly and you remembered her name, it wouldn't be impressive. It would not be impressive. Yeah. Bulldog,
it's because
your quick response, Bulldog.
It's because of the teasing nature of the conversation. That it has nothing really to do with that.
I teased.
I'm not sensing that kind of. You've only done like 80 approaches, self-admitted. There's no way that you're going to be anywhere close to this level of confidence and skill level. There's just no way.
Should just do 1,000 million approaches, right, and luck out that one outlier. Like is that your solution?
Probably. I always tell guys it's going to take you 300 approaches to get your first result, and even then you're not going to be good. It's probably going to take about 2,000 before you actually, the 10,000 hour rule. I don't really like Malcolm Gladwell.
But do you not have to sit yourself down at a point and say to yourself, all right, man, if it's going to take me 300 approaches to even get half a satisfaction, don't you think that it's too far gone? Like, you shouldn't have to try 300 times. Does that not make sense to you?
I don't care if you should. Life isn't fucking fair. Like, what do you want me to make life fair? It's not fair.
Life
if it takes you
fair,
300 approaches, how bad do you want it? It's up to you. If you don't want it that bad, then don't bitch about it, and just say, fuck, I don't want it that bad. I'm not willing to work for it. I can't make you want it. But I can tell you that if you want to get girls that are of high enough caliber, it's going to take that much effort.
That's a good
Otherwise,
point.
you could.
That's a good point. There's no point me bitching if there is a way to get it, the 2,000 approaches, whatever. But do you agree with me that looks can make that 300 into 3?
Yeah.
Do you realize that?
Are
you admitting? No. Do you understand that?
You think you can make it into 3?
Oh, I've seen it.
No.
Oh yeah, if I was an 8, out of 10, easy 3.
Oh my
easy.
gosh.
You just walk in and they're giving you IOIs like you've never seen before.
No.
I've seen it myself.
Oh my god.
Have you been around people in the club?
I am one of those guys, and no way.
You're an 8 out of 10. A solid 8 out of 10.
No, a 9. Easily.
You're not.
You're a 9.
Yes. Oh, for sure. For sure.
I mean, Face, have you seen his face?
Yeah. Can you see? Yeah. Can you see? He's not a 9.
Show me his face.
Can you see? Are you in the chat?
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, he's not a 9. Way. His body is maxed. I would say his body's like a 7, 8. I would say his face is like a 5 to 6.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion. Yeah, so
the reason why it doesn't matter. I pulled 10s all day long, so it doesn't matter. So
right, that's fine.
Do you notice how when you found it an insult that I didn't agree that you were good looking? I said you're.
I don't find it an insult. I don't.
But you had to pivot instantly to, well, it doesn't matter because I get laid anyway. You took it as an insult. So looks are personal.
Yes.
Of course,
looks are important.
100%.
No, well, of course. I didn't say that they're not important.
Do you mind if I ask how old you are? You look about 50 in that. How old are you?
No.
I'm 38.
Oh, you're 30. Okay, maybe.
Right, I'm gonna keep going with this video because then we're gonna be out of here.
Let's keep going.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little small clap.
That's commendable. Do you remember my name?
Becky.
This one.
Look at the shock. He remembered her name. Chad gets a return on investment for doing the simplest things because of his looks.
Yeah.
Look at that shock. All right, I'm gonna keep going.
Becky, the validator. She needs to be validated, eh? She had to steal Dana's thunder there. Do you remember my name?
She's what you'd call the focus puller in the group.
You think so?
Yeah, I call those
That's
a focus
your technical
puller.
term?
That is my technical term.
I like to call her a tryhard. Call her what you want.
Just come with me, all right?
Okay.
Come over here. Look at that.
Look at that face. Jeez.
What do we want? We'll do the Kyle tequila shot.
So how do we do these the pile way?
Just put them.
Right, this is rope fuel coming up. Rope fuel.
Tequila shot.
So how do we do these the pile way?
Just put them down your throat and swallow.
Look at the way she blushed. Like
Yeah.
yeah. It's all face. All right, I'm gonna keep going. I'm sorry to keep interrupting. All right.
Mercy me.
So basically the pile way is just throwing it down your throat and swallowing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're what, a hands-on teacher?
The look at the way she's looking up to him. Looking like 5'4", you would never get this because women don't look up to you.
They physically can't.
They can't.
Wait a minute.
Physically can't.
Do you think that this is insane? Like, do you think that this is like a very like strong reaction?
I think
It's better than anything
get.
I've ever got in my life.
Really?
So,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. See, this to me is just like it seems moderate. This is like I have seen way more it's on reactions
I
than
like
this.
you have to downplay this because I think your line of thinking depends on you still believing that game is more important than look. So you, of course, you're going to downplay this.
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna keep going because I'm gonna be out of here soon.
I guess you could say that. Cheers.
Cheers to what?
Cheers to abstract art. Hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that. All right.
Did you want a drink?
No, I'm good. I'll get back to my
You want
friends,
a drink?
Right.
Do you want a drink?
Wait. The death blow is coming.
Okay, to talk to again soon.
So maybe,
Oh no.
Is that shocking to you?
Yes.
Is that
very.
actually shocking to you?
It's
Are you
not,
kidding me?
It's not shocking. It's just
Do you
we
know-
don't get that. We don't get that.
What? Do you know how
Of
many
course,
times
it's
I've
shocking
pulled
to
off?
me, man.
Yeah.
Of course, it's
it's-
shocking to me.
That's
I've
not
never
easy- that's not
even
hard to
came
pull off.
close to that. That's
Really?
not hard to pull off at 5'4". Really?
I don't know. It's not hard to pull off.
Yeah.
He did it even awkwardly because he was like actually asked and went in like that. He did it awkward as fuck
so he
He
actually.
can do
yes,
that. He can
he
get
can.
away with doing that.
Yeah.
He can get away with doing that because of his looks. He doesn't need to
No.
do this force it, don't ask kind of mindset. He just does. He can ask. He can get away with asking.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, you guys. Like, I don't even know how. Like, if I yeah, I can't even communicate the perspective difference. I could tell you things that would shock the fuck out of you. That would really shock you if you think that's shocking. So,
Okay. All right. I really have to wrap it up, but it would be good to
Okay.
have you on another time, and we could maybe if you could link me to some content that you find proves the red pill true, then it would be good to analyze that. So not immediately now, but
yeah,
in
I think honestly, I think you're just gonna have to. It's one of those things you have to experience and see because as much as I can tell you, you know that. I don't know. I mean, how can you know this without having personally experienced it and having seen the difference between having game and not having game and how it's affected your life specifically and your results? Because that's the thing is like whatever I tell you, you can say, well, that's just you, but that doesn't mean that'll work for me, right? That's the challenge that I see here. Because a lot of your points are valid. Like I agree with a lot of like your assessment of looks and that looks do matter, and also the idea that it's becoming more of a less of a 80-20 rule and more of a 10-90 and more of a 5-95. That's certainly happening, but yeah, I mean, I can't combat. There's no way to really convince you that looks aren't the only thing that matters, aside from you experiencing it and realizing, oh wow, I was getting these results before, my looks didn't change, and now I'm getting these results.
What have I told you? I've experienced that looks is the dominant factor.
You haven't experienced that because you told me that when you were going out, you're only going out 5 nights a month. And plus I would have to ask you, okay, so I mean we could go through it. We could say, okay, so when you're talking to girls, how many girls did you open in a night, and what were you saying to them? That would be the first thing I'd ask you.
Okay, that will get too long-winded because I think Face is trying to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
We can do that.
what I'm trying to, my main point, my final point is that 5 times a night over a year period, like that's plenty of times going out, right? And I haven't had any success at all. Like it seems like it's a race for a needle in a haystack rather than a race to just have a good time when you go out, because it seems like it's too rare to strike a gem in the water kind of thing.
Man, I like, okay, if we went out, you'd be hitting it much harder. So how many women honestly do you approach in a night if you go out to a nightclub, let's say?
Probably about 4 or 5.
Okay, that's nothing. Like I would have you hitting up at least 20. At least
20 in a night. I mean,
yeah.
Is it a kind of a high and buy thing? Like, I was trying to talk to one for at least like 4 to 5 minutes. Like, is it?
Are you
Are you
able
o-
to stick around for 4 or 5 minutes and when you talk to one and keep the
Yes.
conversation going, and she's
Yes.
not like saying I have to go to the bathroom or that's nice.
Well,
And,
not everyone was 4 to 5 minutes. Some were a minute. Some were very quick. Some were a bit longer. Like, it's not.
okay.
It's not a certain time amount for each one, but I mean,
Hey,
20 girls in one night. I mean, is that like high and by, or is it a bit of conversation? Like, it can't be too long, can it?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the toll on you doing 20 approaches on
that's-
Friday?
Isn't that not a good time out? It's more of like a fucking stressful time out.
Hey,
Like,
you're yeah, because you're there to learn and to grow. That's what your purpose is if you're in this stage. That's it. I mean,
I do need to grow. That's what I need to do. I need to grow.
You do, but yeah.
I do need to grow, actually. Yeah. All my problems will be fixed, actually. Yeah.
I can lift you up and you can like you
Right.
want to meet this guy here? This is my friend here.
Right.
But no,
we could keep
seriously,
going. We could keep going forever,
Yeah.
but I
My
do have to
point
wrap this
is-
up.
Okay, can I say one last
Yes,
thing? I would
yep,
say this.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so you're not putting in the amount of work that's required, and I'm glad that honestly, like I know you think that you are, and it should be easier than it is, but it's 100 times harder than you think that it is. And if you're willing to put in the work that is required to do it, you will have results. The fact that you can even stick into any conversation for 3 to 4 minutes means that women are not outright rejecting you, because believe me, a woman that doesn't want to be in a conversation with you for 3 to 4 minutes is not going to. So that's what it comes down to. If you put in, a good year worth of work, going out 3 or 4 nights a week, not drinking, and focus on just hitting up 20 girls every single night, and progressively trying to move it forward, you would have success.
See, the thing is, I'm not arguing against like anyone can luck out, in my opinion, if you try hard enough, right? I'm not saying it's impossible to luck out, right? What I'm saying is it's so hard to the point where it's so stressful. And I just want you to. I mean, you know how hard it is.
Yeah,
right?
I do. It's
You
really hard.
you agree that it's like anyone. I'm not saying that it's impossible for me to luck out and find someone. Right? I'm not saying that.
It sucks.
What
though.
I'm saying is back in the day it was sort of difficult. Like you go out and eventually you'll find someone. But nowadays it's like it feels like you're in a fucking sweatshop working for it kind of thing.
I agree.
Like do you not see that? Like maybe it's too far gone kind of thing. And think about it, even if you have to work that hard to get results, don't you really think that maybe if you have to work that hard, that when you do luck out, it's never going to last?
Well,
Do you also think that?
You put in the work once, and once you have put in the work, then you will be able to get results a lot easier. But it's a lot of work and a lot of grind and a lot of no results at all until you get to the point where you can get results. And I won't say easily, but fairly easily.
Right.
And that's just how it works.
Bulldog, it's been a pleasure having you, and I really would like to have you back another time, if you would be okay with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate
Thank you, and thanks to everyone who called. I'm sorry I couldn't get to everyone. Yeah, I tried to pack too much into a stream. I'll never learn. But yeah, thank you everyone who took part. If you sent a super chat, I'll have to get to you next week. But yeah, 5-4, thanks for coming in. Harvey, I didn't get back to you, but maybe next time. I'll take more callers next time. We just had too much to pack in, and it's getting late, so I have to go. But thanks to everyone, and we'll be back soon. What I'm going to do with this stream, because it got broken up, I'm going to upload it in segments. I'm going to, it will appear at some point. Just be patient. Okay, so guys, thank you for taking part, and we are out of here. Thank you.